The doctor looked me in the eyes and said I have 2 months left, and in that moment my mind started boiling, like it was trying to escape my skull. I am 86 years old, and until that sentence landed on my chest, I still believed I had time. Not years, maybe not even months, but time. Now every second feels loud. My heart races even when I sit still, and the silence at night is so heavy it feels like it's pressing down on my lungs. I postponed apologies like they were optional. I believed there would always be another conversation, another phone call, another chance to say, "I'm sorry." Now I understand something terrifying. Time does not wait for courage. In my 20s, I believed time was endless. I treated people like they were replaceable, as if another friend, another love, another chance would always be waiting just around the corner. When someone got hurt, I told myself they would heal. I never stopped to ask if I was the reason they had to. I am ashamed of how long it took me to understand that strength is restraint, not dominance. That courage is honesty, not avoidance. That delaying goodness is the same as choosing harm. These realizations don't comfort me. They accuse me. As the years passed, people drifted away, some quietly, some angrily. I told myself it was normal, that life does this. But now I see the pattern. It wasn't life. It was me. My choices, my refusal to soften when softness was required. When I think back to my youth, I don't see wisdom or innocence. I see speed. Everything moved fast, and I thought that meant I was alive. I wanted money, respect, and control, and I wanted them before anyone else could take them from me. I told myself this was strength, but it was mostly fear wearing a loud voice. I told lies to keep the peace, lies to win arguments, lies to avoid admitting I was wrong. Each time I felt a small sting, but I ignored it. I convinced myself that honesty was a luxury, not a necessity. I was wrong, and now those lies feel like debts I never paid. There are also the hearts I broke without realizing I was doing it. Words spoken in anger, silence used as punishment, pride that kept me from apologizing when I should have. I see those moments clearly now, and they don't fade when I close my eyes. I keep replaying scenes where the truth would have cost me pride, but saved someone else pain. I chose myself instead. Every time, I told myself survival required it, but that was a lie too. Survival without integrity is just a slower kind of collapse, and I can feel the ruins inside me now. If this story reached something inside you, please like this video so it can reach someone else who still has time. And consider subscribing not for entertainment, but so these voices are not lost in silence. Thank you to the person who listened to me and gave me the space to speak honestly. This channel exists to make sure older people are not left alone with their truths. If my ending can protect someone else's beginning, then maybe these final words were not wasted. People assume regret comes gently, like a soft sadness. They're wrong. Regret is violent. It shakes you awake at night. It makes your hands tremble. It whispers, "You knew better," over and over again until you can't breathe properly. If you remember anything from my last words, let it be this: never lie, even when the truth costs you comfort. And never, ever break a heart. Some damages cannot be repaired, only regretted. I am proof of that. I am not brave about this. I am terrified of dying. People like to imagine old age as peaceful. But no one talks about the panic that comes when your body is still here and your future suddenly isn't. My thoughts run in circles, and sometimes I feel like I'm losing control of them. If I could speak to you as someone who still has time, I would beg you to stop postponing decency. Don't wait until fear forces clarity. Don't wait until your body weakens and your mind turns against you. Choose honesty while it's still easy. Choose mercy while it's still possible. If you are listening to me, hear this clearly. Never lie to protect your ego. Lies rot from the inside first. And never, ever break a heart casually. Some people carry that damage their entire lives. I carry the weight of knowing I caused it. I also broke hearts. Not always with cruelty, but with carelessness. I made promises when it suited me and disappeared when it didn't. I raised my voice when silence would have been kinder. I chose pride over compassion more times than I can count. What haunts me most is how normal my mistakes felt at the time. Lying didn't feel evil. Breaking a heart didn't feel final. It felt temporary, manageable, forgettable. But nothing truly disappears. It waits, and at the end it returns with interest. Now, with death standing this close, something else has joined the fear. Accountability, not social judgment. Not reputation, something deeper. The awareness that I will stand alone with my choices, stripped of explanations, stripped of context, stripped of excuses. I am not telling you this to sound wise. I'm telling you because these memories are crashing into me now, all at once, and I have nowhere to hide from them. They don't come as lessons. They come as accusations. Stay with me, because what I finally realized at the end of my life is not about success or failure. It's about the silent moral lines I crossed without noticing, and the cost that comes due when there is no tomorrow left to negotiate with. There is a moment near the end of life when excuses stop working. I am in that moment now. Lying in this quiet room, knowing my days are counted, I finally understand something I spent decades avoiding. I was not confused back then. I was comfortable. Comfortable enough to ignore my conscience. Comfortable enough to delay being decent. The worst part is that I knew better even then. Somewhere deep inside, I knew I was crossing lines that don't heal easily. But I told myself I'd fix things later. Later became my favorite word. Later became my excuse. Later became my biggest sin. This world suddenly looks very small to me. All the chasing, all the competing, all the proving. It feels like a child fighting over sand, while the tide is already coming in. 2 days. That's what life feels like now. A brief visit where I forgot the rules of kindness. I thought growing old would bring understanding. I didn't expect it to bring fear this sharp. My body is weak, but my conscience is wide awake. And the closer I get to the end, the louder it becomes, as if it knows there is no more time to stay quiet. Everyone around me tells me to be calm or make peace. They don't understand. How do you make peace in 60 days with a life that took 86 years to live? How do you sort through decades of choices when the clock suddenly starts screaming instead of ticking? This world is a 2-day stop, nothing more. And whether you believe it quietly or fear it openly, we will all give an account, not of our achievements, but of our hearts, of who we protected, of who we wounded, of who we failed to apologize to when it mattered. I keep thinking about how many times I lied when the truth was harder, Not the big dramatic lies people imagine, but the small ones, the convenient ones, the ones that saved me discomfort and cost someone else their peace. Those lies feel heavier now than any mistake I made with money or work. I think about the faces I dismissed, the tears I minimized, the apologies I rehearsed but never delivered. I thought silence would erase responsibility. Instead, silence became my loudest sin. There are words that once unsaid never forgive you for withholding them. By the time I reached middle age, I had built a life that looked successful from the outside, a job people respected, a routine that made me feel important. But inside, something had already started to rot. I lied more easily then. I learned how to bend the truth just enough to protect my image and avoid responsibility. I sit alone most days. The room is quiet, but my mind is not. It jumps from my childhood to my first job, from the faces I loved to the faces I hurt. Some names still make my chest tighten. Some moments still feel unfinished, like sentences that were cut off mid-word. What scares me most is not the pain or the moment itself. It's the thought that everything I did, everything I ruined, everything I ignored is now lining up inside my head, demanding to be seen. I try to push the memories away, but they come back stronger, sharper, more unforgiving. I don't know exactly what waits after this life, but I know this. I will not arrive empty-handed. I will arrive carrying every moment I ignored my better self, and that knowledge shakes me more than death itself. I don't know yet what all of this means. I only know that the life I thought I understood is now questioning me back. Every memory feels like a witness, and I am not sure what verdict they are preparing for me. Stay with me, because what I'm about to remember next is the part of my life I avoided for decades, and facing it now may be too late. But it is the truth I can no longer run from.